His characters are self-aware quip machines who banter like their lives depend on it. They also kick butt and squad up with allies to form distinct butt-kicking crews. In Whedon projects, people with power are morally bankrupt and his heroes fight for freedom until one of the good guys dies symbolically. These concepts have been gently remixed to form the Buffy the Vampire Slayer blueprint, the Firefly cypher, the Dollhouse effect, and the Avengers rubric. With the latest application of his style, call it the Nevers configuration, it's clear that Whedon has less of a creative signature and more of a single notebook page of ideas he's been using since the late 90s. The Nevers is a fantasy HBO drama about a group of Victorian women who spontaneously developed magical powers, called turns, in the show. Some of these women have neat turns like seeing flashes of the future or blasting fireballs from their hands, while others have the power of being unusually large. Society views these powered women with contempt, so most of the main characters live together in a group home owned by a wealthy benefactor in a wheelchair, and if this sounds like X-Men it's because yes, the Nevers is the X-Men in petticoats. It's difficult to point out exactly what is wrong with the Nevers, because the show struggles to make an impression in any category. The idea of superpowered people living in a home together isn't owned by any particular franchise, but even though it seems unfair to call the Nevers out for being derivative, rest assured that almost nothing else in this show feels original enough to make up for it. Its two main characters Amalia True, Donnelly, and Penance Adair, Skelly, are distillations of Whedon's obsession with dainty women beating people up and waify mechanical geniuses, respectively. The dueling plotlines of a theatrical serial killer in London and a greater government conspiracy against powered women amount to a genderbent Jack the Ripper and yeah, the X-Men again. Even its porny moments, which exist to remind the audience that this show is what happens when you give Joss Whedon a nighttime slot on HBO, read as boobs-out homages to shows that have done sex positions slightly better. It's difficult to point out exactly what is wrong with the Nevers because the show struggles to make an impression in any category. The first 4 episodes of 6 were provided for review and the memory of watching them vanished as soon as the credits rolled on that 4th episode. Watching them again helped, but the show's touch is so light with regard to characterization and plot that being asked to name more than 5 characters at gunpoint would result in certain death. The only exception to this is Amy Manson as the aforementioned serial killer Malady, who despite being Ripper-ish is the only person who understood an assignment Joss Whedon forgot to pass on to the rest of the cast and did not complete himself.